My warmest greetings to viewers. You're welcome to a fresh edition of In the Newsroom, beaming to you live from OSBC TV. My name is Adebare Ejimakide, your anchor on Thursday edition of the program. Today's discussion dwells on three topics. The first one is Adamawa Tinubu asked police to conduct investigation on Binani's announcement. The president-elect has called on the police to investigate the controversy surrounding the announcement of Adamawa APC gubernatorial candidate, Senator Aisha Binani, as the winner of the electoral contest. We will look at the issues surrounding that. We also move further to examine subsidy removal, best economic decision to reduce Nigeria's debt. That was coming from the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry. The executive said the removal of the subsidy, oil subsidy, will be the best economic decisions to checkmate corruption in the oil sector and as well reduce the debt profile of the country. Next to that is Disco Flout Federal Government's Directive, Customers on Estimated Billing. Disco Flout Federal Government's Directive, Customers on Estimated Billing. The electricity generating company continue to flout the federal government's directive on estimated billings, as the number of customers on that estimated billing rise to about over to 5.3 million amidst the challenge of crazy bills. We also examine that one. And to examine these topics, I have journalist in the house with me. It is my pleasure welcoming Wale Olayemi. You're welcome on the program.
Well, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Next to him is Muhyiddin Adeleke. You're also welcome to the Newsroom.
Thank you for having me. I say good afternoon to our esteemed viewers.
Yes, the president-elect, Asiwaju Tinubu, has called on the police to investigate the controversies surrounding the announcement of elections in that state. How you described his intervention, Wale?
Well, I look at it from the point that the president-elect is a Democrat, and he feels that for us to strengthen the system, it is better for everybody to believe and go through the process. That at the end of the day, everybody will, both the loser and the winner, will agree that yes, this is the choice of the people. He wouldn't like a situation where people will be going through the back door or doing things that will cast doubt in the minds of other contestants that this is not a fair game. So it is, in the absence of all those things, it will be difficult for anybody to now be complaining or fighting or doing all sorts of things. And the best way to go really is, when you submit yourself to the process, ensure that you do everything required of you, so that you don't look for shortcuts, and at the end of the day, the whole system will be heated up, and there will be instability, because you may sit down and say it's happening in Adamawa, but before you know it, it could lead into something serious that will snowball into even the end of the Fourth Republic. So I think as the president-elect, he was concerned that things nearly tipped off as far as the events that followed the supplementary election in Adamawa.
All right. Let's look at the scenario that transpired in Adamawa. We say INEC has lived up to expectation in the conduct of that poll. What are the lapses? What's your take?
I want to say good afternoon again to our viewers. I want to subscribe to the submission of Wale Olayemi. You could see that what happened in Adamawa was a bit strange. It was a bit strange because the normal standard practice was for the returning officer to take charge when it comes to the declaration of the winners of elections at various levels, except for the fact that at the national level the INEC chairman himself took charge, as it happened in the case of the recently held presidential election. But at the state level, the usual thing is for the returning officer to take charge and declare the actual winner of the poll. But what happened in the Adamawa was a bit strange. I think there could have been some extraneous variables, some behind the scene events. I think we are yet ready. We are not yet acquainted with the happenings at background events that led to the announcement, the illegal, quote and unquote, the unusual and illegal announcement by the REC in charge of Adamawa, and the fact that Binani also made a remark and he accepted the purported election is something that is still has left so many people in a disturbing stage. We are yet to come to terms with the unusual happening as witnessed in Adamawa. I was even thinking it was a kind of melodrama, but when it came out to be the real issue, then every right-thinking person should be concerned. In fact, it really took us back some steps in our march to what do we call it, an ideal democratic setting. Usually we know quite well that we still make reference or refer to our democracy as a fledgling and nascent one. But what happened in Adamawa could only have happened in the Stone Age. And everything should be done to unravel the mystery, quote and unquote, behind the declaration of Binani, even when the compilation of the results was ongoing. So for the man to sneak in and make that declaration, I think has left much to be desired, and whatever it takes to get to the root of the matter will not be out of place. And just as he rightly said, the president-elect, he wouldn't have done anything other than what he did. That efforts should be made to get to the root by the police through investigation. So I quite agree with the submission of Wale Olayemi that such a thing was not expected to happen as far as Nigeria is concerned, despite our few years of uninterrupted democracy. Okay,
thank you. Examining the scenario that transpired after the announcement of the result, what's your take on the intervention of the police and other security agencies?
I think
because people are saying that the security forces were there, they lived up to expectation during the conduct of that poll.
Well, the issue basically is that the REC, the immediate past REC now,
okay,
is not somebody that is probably strange to those security chiefs. And lest we forget that those guys are answerable to the IG in Abuja. So if they view the REC as a federal government worker, and they too are working for the federal government, if he says he needs their attention, he may not go down the details because they've been relating for some time. He may not even tell them that I'm going to declare Madam So-so-so as the governor. They were seated there. So a lot of people have really been condemning them. I won't toe that line because ideally, if when the two of them, the SSS guy and the state commissioner of police, got to the collation venue, the normal thing is to wait for the returning officer. You know, everybody, any other person could have found himself in such a dire situation. When the man started saying this person has won, what do they expect the security people to say? No, stop, don't. They won't do that. They won't.
Should INEC boss has the right to declare that election?
No, that's what we are saying. I want to agree with my brother here,
okay, that
we've not heard the last about that election. Not just the supplementary, but the main election itself. And even before we got to the level of the supplementary election, we've seen so many videos online flying where the woman led security people to where they were thumbprinting ballot papers and some other things. You know, it wasn't as if the election proper was free and fair. These are issues on both sides, and I've argued that power contestation within our space is always a do or die stuff. And when you have such a situation and the woman is involved, yet now as we speak in our political environment, it is very strange to see a woman, you know, rubbing shoulder with a man, because they won't look at her and say, who is this? So it will be a taboo, quote unquote, for a woman to defeat a man and a sitting governor. So that was why I said maybe when the chiefs are down, Fintiri has gotten the second time, but the real story or the news behind the news of that win
more fast to be discovered.
Yes, we
uncovered.
Because a lot of people who are on the other side have been saying, after all, this happened, this and this happened, you know. But I think the climax that wasn't really the best was the frustration that led to the announcement of the woman, you know, because in this game too, it depends on the kind of muscle that you have
when the election has not been
to elbow anybody.
The election has not been thoroughly.
A lot of people have been saying, even the woman, they really know that, okay, the woman has won in some places, and if he cancel this, cancel that the woman eventually, okay, if that is the case, the woman should have let the process just go like that, so that at the end of the day, she can now approach the tribunal, and at the end of the day, she may eventually get justice. This backdoor approach or the Jankara approach is quite it's not easy at all.
All right, thank you. The president-elect, my questions goes to Muideen. The president-elect also charges those that are aggrieved to seek redress in a legitimate means or manner and a peaceful manner. How will you react to his actions?
Okay, I think his charge is well placed as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
We are all products of what do we call it, of sanity. Let me just say it. We want things to be done. Even when you go, if you are a car owner or if you are a motorist, you want to take the right side. Okay. At least we drive on the right side. And when we get to the roundabout, we give traffic to, we give way to the traffic on the left. So we must be on the side of the law. And if you aspire to lead at whatever level, you must uphold, you must be a promoter of law and order. It's only when you are on the side of the law that you be seen to be promoting what we call rule of law.
Okay.
So if the president-elect has enjoined the aggrieved to allow the full, or will I say, the course of justice to hold, and to allow the case to be determined by the competent court of jurisdiction. I think that is in order. I want to support that we allow the process of law to take its normal place than to resort to self-help. Self-help will only lead to something that is called anarchy. And when there is anarchy, then the rule of law is suspended automatically without anybody making any pronouncement. Even the ordinary football matches that we watch, that is the essence of having the referees, the center referee, the assistant referee 1, assistant referee 2. In some cases, you have the fourth official, and you also have the match commissioner. So there are people, okay, in a situation whereby two opposing players contest for a ball and the ball goes into touch, definitely one of them must have had the last touch before the ball goes out of play. So what is amazing is that globally you discover that the two players will still lay claim to having the right either to probably take the throw in or what. That is just it. An average human being will want to even claim what does not even belong to him. People are not honest, but the only way you can probably appeal to the subconscious of people is to tell them to take the normal way. The normal way is to allow law
to take its course.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they say the court is the last hope of the common, not only the common man,
exactly,
of everybody. Mm-hmm. You see, it's literally by a common man who might also want to lord it over those we call the well-to-do individuals. But when you allow the law to take its full course, then that is when there will be sanity. And when there is sanity, then there will be development. So if the president-elect is appealing to everybody, otherwise himself, if he does not say that, some people are aggrieved as far as his election is concerned, and some might want to engage in self-help to ventilate their grievances. But everybody is saying it. The whole world is watching, and the whole world wants us to do it the way it is done in a saner climb. So in a saner climb, we need to abide by the dictates of the body of laws governing the affairs of the people. So in Nigeria here, we have the rule of law that must be allowed to really take its course. The constitution is there, and in the case of the election, we have the electoral act there. So we can always approach the court of competent jurisdiction to ventilate your grievances through the normal process.
All right, thank you very much. Next also, the president-elect congratulated the winners in the supplementary elections across the country. They congratulated the members of the National Assembly, State House of Assembly, even the governors-elect, irrespective of party affiliation. I would describe his attitude and his actions. He said he charged them to join them in building the nations, moving the nations forward.
Well, I think in recent times, and every other person who probably has been watching the polity and politics, will see that more than any other time, particularly in recent times, we've been so divided as a country as we are now. So the election itself that brought in the president-elect is still under serious contestation, particularly from the candidate that came third. Atiku Abubakar of the PDP is in court. And the most important thing that we need as a nation now is to ensure that we have what I would call national cohesion. It's very, very important for us now. So the president-elect has done so well has already been playing the role of a statesman. It's no longer a party man now. He sees himself as a statesman, somebody who is the father of the nation, calling on everybody to come on board and let us fix the country, because we are all agreed. Okay. That's why the political party people belong to that. Nigeria at this juncture needs somebody who can take very, very hard decisions. Very, very hard decisions that are not based on sentiment or politics. That even whether maybe we feel the pains initially, but in the long run, we will discover that that decision probably is the best for the country. So I think the president-elect believes that with the situation of things now, the most important thing is for all hands to be on deck and to ensure that every other person key in to his agenda to reform the country, to ensure that every other person, he carries every other person along as much as possible, because no matter what, some people will still say, they don't have anything to
100% support.
So, but it's a welcome development, and I think he's been forward-looking. He's been, and we all agree that, given his experience, he should hit the ground running. Right. So if he's playing that bigger role now, even ahead of his inauguration, then we know what to look forward to when he actually takes charge.
So as a leader, he's expected to carry everybody along with him. That's very good. Okay, I'm still taking you on this, Wale. Governor Fintiri said he described the whole scenario in Adamawa. He described it as a battle against powerful individuals in Abuja. Like he was not contesting against Aisha Yunusa Binani, the governorship candidate for APC, but he was contesting against powerful individuals in Abuja. Can such be ruled out? Is it a welcome development in the polity of the country?
Well, everywhere in the world, like I've said earlier on, power contestation is not a tea party. But our own here is more fierce because of the way we see power. It's always a zero-sum game. Winner takes all. If we lose, go. That's you won't even enjoy being in opposition. So, well, I think I will somehow disagree with him that he contested against a very, very tough opponent. That's a fact. Don't let us forget that the woman was a senator before in Adamawa.
Yes, he was.
Yes. Then I've listened to commentaries, I've read stories that the woman still has almost a cult-like following among the women in Adamawa. I know the majority of people who vote, they are women. So that's why this contest is very fierce. The woman wouldn't see himself as losing because he has the women in a grip. They have been talking about everywhere the woman goes, a lot of crowd, majority of them women. Even when you see her on TV, majority of the people you will see, if there are 10 women and men there, you are sure that you have 50 women following her. So, and if you look at the demographics, particularly the voting demographics, it will clearly show that more women will go and vote than the men. So I think the issue is, even Binani himself, he is saying that he fought very powerful people in Abuja. A powerful clique within the Adamawa APC did not want Binani. Fintiri contested with a very, very tough opponent, a very tough woman. And believe me, the woman, he must have learned through the ropes. She played the game like an average man. She was there on the ground, fully on the ground. So she's not somebody that will say, all right, we have a very weak opponent, let's go and sleep.
All right, thank you. Now, Muideen, let's look at this stipulation of the Nigerian Constitution's mandate scenario in this case, or do you think INEC ought to have come out clearly and explain better whether their action is in line with the stipulations of the Nigerian Constitution?
I don't know where you read that once the election or once an election is declared or the result of an election is declared, it cannot be reversed. The fact that
that's the claim of some legal
the
thing is, if INEC declares you that you are the winner,
the next thing it is the tribunal.
No, what I'm saying is it is legally the INEC cannot reverse itself.
Yes,
the person must go to the tribunal to now established that I won the election. So that was what they were referring to, not that.
The Independent National Electoral Commission is the body saddled with the conduct, the preparation, conduct, and announcement of election results.
Okay.
Once the announcement is made, it is not for INEC to now say we made a mistake. So we want to reverse ourselves. No. The tribunal, the election petition tribunal is there at every level to take care. And in that situation, if INEC is adjudged to have committed some infractions, the law will be there to take care of that when the case is started at the tribunal level. And if the tribunal errs in its determination of the suit, then it goes to the appeal court. Then after the appeal, the apex court is there.
Yes.
And that apex court, the Supreme Court, has the final say. I don't think the INEC, the process is laid down, and it is for every party that is involved in an electoral process to follow it.
All right.
It is not only the contestants that are known as or that are seen as the parties. Wow. In many cases, they do join other parties in every suit or in any suit as it is deemed very appropriate. So,
right.
So let's just wait and see whether the woman will go to the tribunal. If she believes she has a case, a good case for that matter, she will be encouraged to go to the tribunal. Because otherwise her action will be seen to be a kind of desperation. And in the process, even those that she believes are ardent followers might have to look the other way.
All right, thank you. Because of our time, we have to move to the next topic. Subsidy removal, best economic decision to reduce Nigerians' debt. What's your opinion, Wale? Do you see it as the best economic decision?
To start with, the subsidy regime from the Obasanjo administration down to Goodluck Jonathan up to the Buhari thing, to me, is a fraud. Because shortly before the departure of Obasanjo, there were cases of people just putting papers and collecting millions of naira for doing nothing. They didn't even bring any tanker of oil into the country. So the nation has lost billions through that. And even up to the time that we speak, the corruption in the oil sector stinks to heaven. So the moment the so-called subsidy is totally removed, then we will be better off to face it squarely. Nobody will go through the back door to go and collect money from anybody anymore. There won't be any claim. It means that if Mr. A imports 10 tons of refined petroleum subsidy, the markup is there, you sell at so and so, or the market dictates. You know, now there are products that when you buy it, you can get it 8 naira somewhere, you get it 10 naira somewhere. Technically, it's already even happening. In some of the filling stations, you get it 2 naira and something. In some places, you get it 198 or something. So everywhere there's deregulation. I think that would be the best for us. Initially, we are going to feel the pains. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
And I think when we look at it from what we went through at the introduction of the GSM, then with the liberalization now, we have about 5 or 6 companies now.
All right.
So everybody will find.
We will look at what is expected to be put into consideration while that policy is being implemented. Now to Muideen, borrowing to fund oil subsidy or on economical venture, do you see it as healthy for the nation's economy?
Even to every layman, as far as the economy is concerned, it is unsustainable. We cannot continually borrow to fund even the budget, let alone funding the subsidy. I think we have really left it too late. It's just like the case of when General Gowon then was quoted to have said that what we had at hand was not the problem of money, but the problem of how to spend the money. The ingenuity, the initiative was not there early enough. We ought to have done everything humanly possible when the cash was flowing to diversify and think outside the box. Unfortunately, we thought the party will go on unabated, but the time has come for us to do something tangible now. You see, borrowing, there may not be anything incongruous when you talk about borrowing as far as the economy is concerned. Every nation borrows, but in our own case, when we borrow, what do we borrow to finance? How do we utilize the facility that we take from time to time? If the facility, even at the personal level, at our individual level, when you borrow to service what cannot yield dividends, then you will suffer for it at the end of the day.
Borrowing for consumption.
You can't borrow money to consume. You can only borrow to invest.
Yes.
And when you want to invest, you must think twice and invest wisely. For instance, it's quite annoying that time was when we were the 6th largest producer of oil globally, and we have had to do with turn around maintenance of refineries for too long. The refineries are obsolete now. If they are producing at all, they cannot produce to capacity.
Right.
And it's quite unimaginable for us to have the crude, and then we take our crude abroad to bring back refined product. It's nauseating, and we don't know how long we will continue doing that. So that led to a regime of prospective what do we call investors in refineries getting necessary license. They got license then, but when the option of importing refined products came on a platter of gold, they had no choice than to jump into the queue. And you know, you and I know it. If Wale Olayemi is given the opportunity to import, and you know it's more lucrative for than embarking on putting up or putting in place a refinery, you will want to do that. People, even prospective investors, seized the opportunity.
All right.
To now, and then it got to a ridiculous level when people will not import, but they will claim subsidy. So for us in Nigeria, I believe we have waited too long, and for us to even be able to bear the brunt as far as subsidy is concerned, we need to put certain things in place.
Thank you for that submission. The federal government secured $800 million from World Bank to cushion the event of oil subsidy. Well, what is expected of the government if eventually that this oil subsidy will be removed?
Well, the issues are